Good afternoon, good afternoon. Come on in, I'm going to wait. I'm going to let it settle.
Come on in.
Let it settle. People still coming in.
They were enjoying the sunshine outside too much.
That's it. I mean, if this session was outside...
Ooh, that would be good.
Basking in the sun. Come on in, sit down. My name is Nigel.
And I am Joanna. Hello, everybody. Hello.
Thanks, peeps. Thanks for the support. It means a lot.
Yeah.
It means a lot to us. Welcome to this Put Your Money Where Your Mouth Is session. It's great to be here. This is probably one of the favorite sessions of CMC. And you know what we're really loving? We're loving the fact that we are live again back in Sheffield.
Yes. I like the feel of warm bodies. It's very nice. Now, before we start, it wouldn't be right not to thank our incredible sponsors for this session this year, Entertainment One.
Yes, CMC depends...
Hey, give them a clap.
Give them a clap.
Give them a clap.
CMC depends upon the support of numerous sponsors to help create such a lively and varied conference. So we're particularly grateful that Entertainment One have sponsored this amazing session.
Yes. Now, this year, we're shaking it up a little bit. We've got a brand new format.
We have.
You see.
Shaky.
Shaky. Instead of the judges pitching and bidding for the ideas, they're actually going to be offering invaluable advice to each one of our pitchers.
Yes, they will. And not only that, they have some important decisions to make because collectively they need to choose their favourite pitch to be awarded a special prize that's been organised by friends of CMC. Now, do you want to know what that package is?
Ooh, yeah.
Right, because you're going to be here next year vying for that package. I can feel you. I'll feel you out there. Okay, so the package is this. It will include a fully moderated focus group on their idea, advice on corporate and PR strategy, and development advice on their concept as well. Now, those services are being provided and donated by Kids Industries, Liberty Consulting, and DM Consulting. So a big thank you to those three prize givers, please.
Yes. If that wasn't enough, we've actually got an audience prize as well. Ooh, I know, ooh. And that's where you all come in. We're going to need you guys to vote for your favourite idea. All you'll need to do is use your smartphone or tablet to open up slido.com, enter the passcode CMC2022, where you can vote for your favourite pitch. And the winner of the audience prize is going to win a free ticket to CMC 2023. Yeah, I know.
Free tickets for 2023. Free tickets.
Come on.
2023. Okay, so let's get started. We have 4 fabulous pitches that we'll be hearing from, but first, let's meet our judges, all the way from the USA on Zoom. Here they are. Okay. So, up at the top there on the left, we have Eric Casimiro, who is from Nickelodeon. Hey, Eric.
Hello, Sheffield. Good to see everybody.
To the right of that, we have Adina Pitt from Warner Brothers Discovery.
Yeah.
Whoop, whoop. And then just down below that, we have Rick Clodfelter, who is from Disney Branded Television.
Hello, CMC.
They are our 3 judges, and we're looking forward to hearing from them.
Yes. Now, judges, each of our pitchers are going to have 5 minutes to pitch their ideas to you. And if any of you have been to this session before, you will know that Nigel and I are going to be carefully watching the clock and flagging if time is running out.
We're running a tight ship here.
Yes,
folks.
we are.
We've got to be out of here by 4:30, right? Other things to do, but other people to see, meetings to have. All right, so after each pitch, we will have some comments and questions from the judges, and you guys here in the room, and maybe even some people who are on Slido will be able to pitch their questions as well. All you need to do that is open up the slido.com app and put in the code CMC2022.
Yes, and after our pitchers have finished, we're going to send the judges off for a little chit-chat to decide who the winner is, and that is when you will get the opportunity to vote for the audience prize. So we'll deal with that later, though.
Yeah. I hope that all makes sense. If it doesn't, we'll talk about it later, if we have time, of course, meetings to do. Okay, so, without further ado, it's our first pitcher. Over to you.
Right, our first pitcher. Let's welcome to the stage, Lisa Renjevich. Lisa is from Coco Rose Media. Out she comes. Look at this beauty. introducing the idea Dear Little Forest to us. Lisa, you're up first. How are you feeling?
Excited.
She's excited.
A little nervous.
A little nervous.
Yes.
Lisa, your 5 minutes starts now.
Great. Hello, everybody. Thank you very much for being here. It's a real honor to be up on stage presenting my project to a theater full of people. Coincidentally, being on a stage presenting my project to a theater full of people is one of my biggest nightmares, although I'm usually wearing pajamas in that nightmare. So, on to the show. Dear Little Forest. Dear Little Forest is a place where curiosity grows, friendship blossoms, and imagination runs wild. This is a preschool eco-comedy that shows 4 friends who learn to use the power of curiosity to learn about the natural world around them and themselves. By asking questions with an open and curious mind, how, why did this happen, is it real? Not only do these friends learn about the natural world and things like what causes a mouse invasion or how can a bird poop on my head while flying through the sky, but they also learn special talents to learn how to navigate their own lives, how to logically approach their own lives. Things like how to assess and overcome fears, how to navigate friendships, how to take on challenges, all quite important skills for children today, and a few adults. So let me take you to the forest to meet the stars of our show. We have Barleycrumb the badger who can do it all. He likes to garden, cook, forage, tinker, make things for his friends like Rowan's little woolly cap and even Lockhart's antlers. What we really love about Barleycrumb is that he's completely comfortable in his own skin. He's as happy kicking around a football as playing princess dress-up. He's really rather fabulous, and all of his friends love him like that. Next, we have Rowan, who is a quiet and introspective fox. He doesn't say a lot, but he loves to observe the world and figure out how it works. When the other friends need to work out a problem or get some sort of calm perspective, they always turn to Rowan. However, if it ever gets a little bit too much, you can probably find Rowan in the forest doing a tree pose. Next is Lockhart, who's the exact opposite. She's loud and goofy and completely outgoing, and you can usually find her crashing through a bush or tripping into a pond. When she was a little girl, all she wanted was to grow antlers, but unfortunately she's a red female deer, so they never grew. So Barleycrumb made her a pair, which she adores and wears everywhere, because there was no way being a girl was ever going to get in her way. Next, we have Bodhi, the bear made of stars who lives in the sky. He's the friend's connection to the universe and also other worlds. He can float down to the earth and join into adventures and also carry the friends off to other worlds, maybe to like an Arctic tundra or even a Puerto Rican rainforest to meet a coqui frog. In each episode, the characters have all sorts of adventures, small stay-at-home adventures and big wide-world adventures. It starts off with a question about nature and some sort of internal issue, maybe a fear one of them is trying to overcome or a behavior they want to change. They meet a friend, go on an adventure, and find solutions and answers through some sort of unexpected or creative experience. For example, one day Barleycrumb was feeling a little unlovable. He had been looking in a pond, saw his reflection, and thought he was ugly. And just at this point, Lockhart comes crashing through the forest. She's seen a monster. It's got 1,000,000 legs. It's super hairy. It's got googly eyes, and she's freaking out. Finally, they go on an adventure and discover that it's just a little creepy crawly. They learn about some insects and also learn that Barleycrumb is beautiful in his own way. They all are. And any discussion of Dear Little Forest wouldn't be complete without talking about the creator, Jo Rose, who is an English illustrator and full-time artist. Her inspiration for this beautiful world and these lovable characters comes from living in the New Forest and also a love of Scandinavian design. Jo's sense of humor, her love of nature, and her unmistakable creativity are a hallmark of these designs. And one of the reasons that Dear Little Forest is actually completely distinct and utterly original in the world of animation. I see that I've talked so fast that I've actually done only 4 minutes. So I'll just also add that this property has obviously handmade art at its basis and has lots of potential for extensions into especially publishing and sort of cross-promotion with forestry groups, environmental groups, natural history museum, and sort of art groups as well. Thank you very much. Oh, my time is up. There we go. Thank
Very
you.
well done, Lisa. Very well done. An absolutely
you.
great pitch.
Great.
But it's not about me, it's about the judges right now. So let's start off with Adina. Adina, what did you think of Lisa's pitch?
Well, first of all, hi, everyone. This is, I wish we could be there in person, but thank you for having us. And hi, Lisa.
Hi, Dina.
It's nice to see you-ish, I think.
Likewise.
For those of you who don't know, Lisa and I grew up in Puerto Rico together, and we went to the same
Oh,
school.
you're old friends. She's pitching to her old mate.
No, there's
So
no
you see how it
nepotism here.
works.
There's no nepotism here, in your face. But here's what I was going to say. First of all, the artwork is just beautiful. It jumps off the pages, and I feel like, are we asking questions, or are we just commenting right now?
Either or, up to you.
Okay, I just want to say, I think there's a lot of innate diversity here embedded in the artwork and in the story. I feel like the one thing that was missing for me, and I'd love to hear more, is for me, instead of having these huge adventures that leap off of that using the forest as a basis, like going to space and things like that, to me, it feels like a wonderful opportunity to lean into conservation, issues of the environment, and really making it a story about that. Mini adventures about that versus taking it someplace else. So I thought, could you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. The reason that we have this element of the bear being able to take them to other habitats is because we want to be able to cover things beyond the UK forest. It definitely is an environmentally oriented show. We've previously discussed this show with Chris Packham as a consultant on the show to keep it environmentally relevant, and that's absolutely one of the key elements, but we didn't want it to sound so didactic, but it's in the way that they interact with nature around them. They will be very, eco-sensitive and scientifically exact and correct. So this is definitely a part of the show, a key part of the show.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Adina. Let's hear quickly from Eric.
I thought it was super charming, the sort of detail of Barley making, it was Barley, right? Making the antlers for Lockhart is so sweet. It feels a little weighted toward the boy audience, since three of your characters are boys. Are there more girl characters in this world besides Lockhart?
There are ancillary animals, and Rowan used to be a girl. And that is open to debate. There's been some development back and forth, but that's not fixed in stone. And I agree, there are 3 boys and 1 girl, so a little more balance could be. I mean, Barley Crumb also is supposed to be a little bit here and there. Sometimes he dresses up as a girl. He likes to dress up in girl roles and boy roles in a very subtle way.
Who doesn't?
Pardon?
Right?
Go, Eric.
Who doesn't?
Ooh, secrets.
Thank you very much, Eric. I think we've got time quickly to hear from Rick.
No, I thank you. I agree very much with Adina. Visually, it's strong. I guess I want to know a little bit more about the emotional heartstrings. Why are these 3 characters connected? Why is this message or these themes, why are they important to them? I mean, I think that's kind of easily handled through their environment and beyond. But I would really kind of lean into more the emotional side of their relationship. I think that would be important, and also you can relate. It's more relatable to the audience in the end if you really kind of feel that empathy toward those characters.
Great. Well, the next time I have a presentation, hopefully it won't be 5 minutes, and I can cover all of those. I can cover all of those questions.
Thank you very much to our judges for your responses. Thank you very much to Lisa as well.
Thank you very much.
Great pitch. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks.
Okay, next we have Paula Harrison. Paula. Hey, Paula. Now, Paula is going to be pitching an idea called Spook and Sleuth. Paula, how are you feeling about your pitch? You ready?
Yeah, I'm absolutely terrified, actually.
You'll be fine. Put it there.
Thank you.
It'll be absolutely great. You'll support her, won't you?
Thank you.
There you go. Paula, your 5 minutes start now.
Thank you. Hello, I'm Paula Harrison, and I'm a children's author and scriptwriter. I've written more than 40 children's books, and they've been translated into more than 25 languages, which is lovely for me because I get fan letters from all over the place. And I'm here to tell you about my TV show called Spook and Sleuth. Spook and Sleuth is a live-action comedy detective show for ages 5 to 8. And it's all about two kids, Lexi and Theo, who get roped into being amateur detectives by an annoying and arrogant ghost called Marmaduke Rose. And they start off by trying to get rid of him, but they come to realize that they really actually like solving the mysteries, and they're actually pretty good at it. Lexi's mum has spent a lot of time and money setting up a new cafe and cake shop called the Cookies and Cream Cafe. And Lexi and Theo are expecting to spend all their time kind of serving cakes and clearing tables. But on the opening day, the very first day, a very strange-looking man walks through a solid wall and tells them that his name is Marmaduke Rose, detective extraordinaire, and that his office for private investigations was on this exact spot more than 100 years before. And Marmaduke is obsessed with solving mysteries, and he's not about to let his death get in the way of what he wants to do. So he starts causing chaos and moving things around and looking for the next mystery. And adults can't see the ghosts, only children can see the ghosts. So everything that he moves and everything he knocks over looks very strange. And Lexi and Theo are desperately trying to find ways to get rid of him. They're really worried that he'll spoil the opening day of the cafe. But they try lots of things, but in the end, the only thing that gets rid of him is helping him solve his mystery, which is the mystery of the missing brownies. Lexi and Theo are very different from each other. Lexi's super organized, while Theo is a lot more go with the flow, but he has these brilliant off-the-wall ideas. And throughout the series, they get introduced to more spooks and monsters, and they start to really enjoy becoming part of the secret world of the spooks. Marmaduke Rose thinks he's the best detective of all time, even though he's not. And each time they solve a mystery, he always tries to take the credit. I'd like to share with you some images that show what inspired the show, my idea for the show. And we've got Scooby-Doo there, of course, probably the greatest kids' comedy detective show of all time. And on the right, I don't know if some of you recognize Rent-A-Ghost.
Come on now.
It was on TV many years back. Had a great cast of spooks and monsters, and it contained a lot of the misunderstandings and slapstick that I wrote in when I wrote the pilot episode and pitch Bible for Spook and Sleuth. So I think it's time that we had a great new comedy detective show on kids' TV. And we all need more comedy in our lives and in our TV viewing, and kids love the mystery element and the spooks and the monsters. So I got some parents to interview their kids about why they love mystery shows and why they like detective stories, and I'd like to share some of their ideas with you.
Hello, I'm Alice, I'm 6, I live in Cardiff, and I like detective shows because at the end they always have a mystery to solve, and it's exciting at the end because then you find out who did the mystery. That's why I like what's in detective shows. Bye.
Hey, Alice, do you like guessing what happens?
Yeah.
You ever work it out?
Yeah.
How does that feel if you work it out?
Exciting. Bye.
Favorite TV program?
Scooby-Doo!
And why do you like Scooby-Doo? What sort of things in Scooby-Doo do you really enjoy?
Monsters!
And what else?
And Mr. Weasley!
Wow! And do you like ghosts?
Yes!
Excellent. And what is it that the baddie always says at the end of a mystery? He says, if it wasn't for you...
Mezzanine Kid!
I really like the suspense of detective stories. I also love the fact that the plot doesn't have to be really, really regular. You can have loads of twists and turns along the way. Also, it's so satisfactory when you get to the end and the mystery is solved.
I like detective books because of the suspenseful writing and how each puzzle is solved differently. Some of my favourite detective books are the Skullduggery series and Murder Most Unladylike series.
I'm Danny, I'm 10, and this is why I like detective stories. I like them because it keeps me on the edge of my seat. You know, it's not just one of those boring stories. It's just like, it just really, really excites me. The detective stories I like is when the detective like keeps on making mistakes and the sidekick keeps on like cleaning up the mistakes, and it's just really funny. I love a good comedy detective sort of story.
Thank you for listening to my pitch for Spookersleep.
Thank you. Well done. Yay. Absolutely brilliant. See, the nerves paid off.
Yeah.
They were good. But like Nigel said, it's not about me. It's about the judges. So let's start with you, Rick, this time. Any thoughts or questions?
Yeah, great pitch. I really, I think mystery and, detective is very on trend right now. And, it does, like, truly from the kids' perspective, there was resolution in the end, and I think that's very satisfying. One thing I would really be curious about is the comedic elements here. Like, where do those come in? What are those beats? What is kind of the ongoing gags throughout every episode and through the writing? How do you punch that in to make it funny and lighthearted, but also very satisfying in the end with the resolution? So, great pitch.
Thank you.
Adina, any thoughts?
I agree with Rick. I think this is very much on trend right now. And I have to say, thank you so much for that pitch, Paula. We actually are the home of Scooby. And so when I'm looking at something like this, I'm looking at, is this something that could be paired with it, or could it live, adjacent to that show? So the one comment that I have, and maybe I just need to read the materials, is to really understand one of the reasons kids love Scooby, the characters are so well developed. Mm-hmm. And of course, you can't compare, it's decades old, and this is a new, fresh idea. I was just curious to really get...
Oh, the suspense! To really get... Can anyone finish her sentence? I mean, she's back. Adina, we won't have to.
I did that on purpose. That's my New York internet people.
Adina, we got to the point where you said we were curious to really get... So can you finish your sentence?
I'm going to leave it there. No, I think
we're on the edge of our seats.
Yes, now. No, I really just wanted to get a better sense of the character development, because I think that is so core to great story, but really, why do we care about these characters and root for them while they're solving the mystery?
Yeah, absolutely. And Eric.
Really, right behind my colleagues. Like, when you say comedy and mystery, I'm in, but I want to know, like, what makes it a comedy? What are those contrasting personalities that are going to drive against each other, as they solve these mysteries, which is what Scooby has all of that built in with all of those characters so well, which is why it's like, 9,000 episodes now, Adina, something like that.
Yeah.
It's like,
I think what I tried to do in the script is kind of get the other characters to really bounce off Marmaduke Rose, because he's just a very, very annoying character, but also really endearing at the same time. So there's that tension with him.
Great, that's great. Sounds great.
I have a quick question. In live action, how do you see putting in the ghost? Is it going to be FX or?
It's just a guy with a sheet.
Yeah, right.
We're going low budget, old school.
I've got to be honest here that as a scriptwriter, I don't have a great knowledge here about how you would make that work and how you would make the effects work, and whether that would be a difficult expense or something in a live action. I can't, pretend to that knowledge, but, hopefully you would be able to make him fade through the wall, because the ghosts do go through the walls quite a lot. It's quite part of the fun of the series.
Great.
Brilliant. Well, thank you so much to our judges, and thank you, Paula.
Thank you.
Well done. Okay, we're halfway there, guys. Getting exciting. All right, our next pitch, we've got 2 people pitching. We've got Alex Walker and Emma Taylor from Brickwall Films. Pitching Embers the Dragon. Oh, and they've even got a little toy as a comforter, in case they get scared. Alex and Emma, your 5 minutes starts now.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to Cakey Island, home to Embers the Dragon and his friends and family. I'm Alex Walker, the writer-director, and first off, we have a little montage of clips to show you before we get into our pitch proper. So, our fun and entertaining preschool series follows Embers and his friends as they get into all sorts of adventures while learning about these strange and sometimes confusing things called emotions, how they affect the way we act, how we feel about ourselves, and how we feel about others. Featuring an all-star cast of voices, including Dame Penelope Wilton, Joe Brand, and Doc Brown, Embers the Dragon is a groundbreaking new series helping develop young children's emotional literacy. The world we've created is intricate, colourful, and dynamic, and has all the locations and settings children find in normal life. But there are also fantastical elements as well, such as dragons, volcanoes, and crucially, the magical keiki trees, which help children visualize and understand their emotions and feelings.
The keiki tree can tell what you're feeling. Do you know what blue and grey leaves mean? Blue means you're feeling sad. What made you feel sad?
Hi, my name's Emma Taylor. I'm the clinical lead for the Embers the Dragon programme and a children's mental health nurse in the NHS. As many as 1 in 6 young children suffer from mental health concerns, and this is growing year on year. Most young children do not have the words to express how they're feeling, or the understanding to link those physical sensations to an emotional state. This leads to behavioural communication, such as temper tantrums, withdrawal, aggression, and crying. Unlike other shows, we don't just use emotions as a storyline. We use clinically backed techniques that provide children with the skills to manage emotions and build resilience. This means when a child finishes watching an episode, they go away not just entertained, but with new skills to practice. Also key to this systemic approach on resilience is our focus for the modelling of facial expressions and mannerisms across multiple emotional states and across personality types. This means there are relatable characters that children can see themselves in.
And this is at the root of how each 5-minute episode is conceived. We start with a clinical need, and from there we develop the episodic plot. The stories we create are all very much rooted in real childhood experience, whether it be at a kid's party, playing games, or experiences at home or school. And our diverse group of characters, who've all been developed separately, all have their own unique personalities and abilities that allow us to choose and create a story and a character that best demonstrates the theme of the film. Whether that be Embers learning how to manage his frustrations, or Yuzumi, the non-verbal bee, learning how to make the most of her abilities when playing with her friends. But key to the learning is that each episode is really, really fun. You know, they're funny, fast-paced and exciting, and they use familiar situations to create the jeopardy, humor, drama, and resolution that make for really great kids' TV. But each episode does end with advice and actions that provide children with tools to develop an understanding of their emotions and learn how to manage them.
But there's still lots of red in the tree.
Another thing we can do is try and get rid of some of your fidgety, shaky feelings. Why don't you run really fast on the spot? That might help.
Okay.
In a clinical trial with over 500 children and families, 100% of the children loved the characters, found the storylines fun and entertaining, and 95% of children and parents saw a reduction in mental health concerns. Embers was the first entertainment programme to receive national health research funding and goes beyond any other series exploring emotions or mindfulness that is currently on the market, in that it's both entertaining and engaging and clinically proven to reduce the need for mental health interventions.
So what have we done and what do we want to do next? Well, so far, with funding from the National Institute for Health Research and Innovate, we've created 3 full pilot episodes, which you've seen a bit of today, and a whole range of supporting content. We even have prototype Embers here, and the pilot episodes have been shown at lots of film and animation festivals around the world. And we're now looking to get a full series commissioned for broadcast and beyond, so we can spread Embers and emotional literacy to a wider audience. We're also planning to expand and develop our content for schools and home to extend Embers' reach in helping support young families and their children. Thanks for listening to us, and we welcome any questions.
Well done, Alex and Emma. You had me from the unhappy buzz of the bumblebee. I was in from then. But like I said, it wasn't about me. It's about these guys up here. Eric, let's hear from you first.
It was super charming and really like a very noble topic to take on, which is really great. And, you know, I mean, it's hard to judge because I have my Nickelodeon hat on, but, you know, what is the entry point for the stories? Are all the characters equally experiencing their emotions, or is Ember the sort of center since he has the title, his name in the title?
Yeah, Embers is the key to the show. He's the one around which all the characters gravitate, but each episode focuses on an individual character and their story. So the very first pilot was about Embers just going to school and getting very frustrated along the way. The second episode was about Yuzumi the bee, and all the kids are playing hide and seek at a kids' party, but she can't take part. And then learns how to take part. So each episode would focus on one of the fairly large group of children's characters. Sometimes the parents as well come in. And it very much depends on the characters that we've created and the topic that we're addressing, which one is the kind of main focal point of each episode.
Right, really lovely.
Thank you very much, Eric. They're busy jotting and writing. I was wondering who I was going to go to then. Rick looks like he's ready to go. Rick.
I don't know if you mentioned it. I'm curious to know who is the target audience for this? What age group?
So it's preschool is the main target audience. So from 3 to 6, really.
3 to 6. Okay. Very much in keeping with Eric's thoughts. You know, I think this is a very important topic. I think there is truly a need for this kind of content. I would advise that the connectivity between all the characters is really important here. You really want the audience to care about these characters in a way that they can go beyond, and empathize with what they're going through. And that entertainment piece has got to be very much there as well. So a lighthearted approach with kind of the underlying of the kind of the need of the emotional literacy, I think, is critical. So beautifully done. I do like the diversity of characters. Dragons, pandas, bees. I mean, you've got a lot of animal kingdoms represented. Very, very nice. So,
thank you very much, Rick. Thank you. Adina.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can. The New York Wi-Fi is it's all right now.
I just tapped on the ceiling, told them to stop doing their construction so that I could talk to all of you. I just to add a little bit to what my colleagues have said, I was thinking about Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood and how every character, how that was kind of the cornerstone of emotional intelligence, right? Talking about feelings and doing it through all of these very well-developed puppets and humans that were in the show. I guess my question is, because this is a really important, yet it's a tricky topic to cover because it's layered with a lot, right? It's not just about basic emotions. There's sensory integration disorder. There's all kinds of things that happen with kids today. And I guess my question is how do you choose your topics? Is there a list that's sort of universal, that is something that is for kids all over the world, right? Versus like something that every kid could watch and identify with. Like, is it all feelings, or does it go deeper than that?
It definitely goes deeper than that, and part of the way we identify what topics we're going to do is through me and my clinical team. So we work in mental health services, not just in the UK, many of my colleagues are international. We look at the various health trends happening for young children at times. We also, with our characters, all of our characters have their own unique personality. So Yazumi the bee is nonverbal, based very much on various autistic characteristics we see in children that we work with, and you'll see those modelled in storylines. We have twins who are looking at kind of sibling rivalry, because that's a kind of everyday situation lots of children can identify, but how you respond to that situation will vary based on the personality type of a child. And we use all of that science of child development, which is our everyday job, and we work with these amazing creatives to come up with the storylines.
Thank you.
Thank you very, very much. Great answer. Emma and Alex, great pitch. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, it's time for our final pitch of the session. Please welcome to the stage Helena Mitchell from Chronically Creative Media. Welcome, Helena. Now, Helena's going to be telling us about Fellow Farm. You have 5 minutes. Are you ready for action?
Go on. I mean, I've weed myself a little bit, but yeah, we'll give it a go.
It's a good way to start. Your 5 minutes. Start now.
Right. Hi, guys. Welcome today. Thank you so much for being here. So I wanted to introduce you to my brand new 2D preschool animation, Fellow Farm. It's a British DEI show running at 7 minutes per episode, and it empowers self-confidence with a humorous, heartfelt, and educational tone. So let's meet the characters. We've got Susie the sheep, who is sensitive and kind with an endless love for others. The cheeky and mischievous Quackers the duck, who is actually based off my partner. Then we've got Claire the cow, who is honest and intelligent with a fascination for shiny things. Then the energetic and innovative Pronto the pig, who, like most of us, has a clumsy nature. And herding up the team, we've got Daisy the sheepdog, outgoing and brave with an optimistic mindset. Now, our secondary characters are Farmer George and his lovable and playful 6-year-old daughter, Evelyn. Then there is the silent companion of the butterfly that represents our inner confidence that we all have. So the world, well, it is set on a rustic British farm with an unconventional yet loving family vibe. So when disaster strikes, our unlikely superheroes have to unite, using their differences as their superpower to save the day. But it's not all as it seems. No, my friends. No, because each of these characters have a hidden disability. But it's those disabilities that actually give them their superpowers. So for example, Quackers the duck lives with Tourette's. but he has learned to laugh at life, which I think you can all agree is something that we all need to learn. But it's not just these guys that have got hidden disabilities. No, I do too. Yes, I live with 10 invisible autoimmune chronic health conditions. Greedy, I know, but it does give Fellow Farm its authentic voice. I grew up on a farm with my heavily disabled brother, so creating stories, particularly comedic ones, was something that really helped me get through life. It was a coping mechanism then and now. So, Fellow Farm provides that authentic voice for the underrepresented. It encourages inclusiveness and social acceptance, reducing that stigma and improving kids' mental health. But more importantly, it makes you feel loved for who you are in a funny and entertaining way. That's all very well, but why now? Well, 1 in 5 children in the UK live with a chronic condition. 96% of all illnesses are invisible, and a shocking 40% of children in the UK have been diagnosed with an allergy. That, on top of the rise in mental health cases, thanks to the big C, means that shows like Fellow Farm have never been more important and more needed than now. That, plus the big push for the farm to table, really does give it its worldwide appeal. But enough from me, let's take a look.
It's the Fellow Farm Olympics final race! First up, my hilarious first friend Quackers.
All right, Susie, now just hold still. Oops.
That's our genius, Claire.
I'm 120 times heavier, but... Don't worry, Claire, I've got an idea.
That's Pronto.
Thanks, Pronto.
That's Susie, our woolly great friend.
Oops. Pardon me.
Hey, don't forget me, the one and only Daisy.
Ready? Steady? Go!
We're different, but it's those differences that bring out our superpowers.
Finish without me.
Superpowers, that when put together, mean nothing can stop us.
Hop on.
We're not finishing without you.
We're friends.
And friends help each other out.
You guys are the best!
Daisy! Daisy! Daisy!
It was all of us. Come join us for adventures full of laughter, mishaps, and plenty of mucky fun.
Corduroy trousers!
At Fellow Farm.
So, just to finish off, CMC this year is all about what's next, and I truly believe that what is needed next is more diverse, inclusive, funny, entertaining, warm shows like Fellow Farm. I'm on a mission to empower self-confidence and reduce that stigma, so come and join me. Thank you very much.
Well done, Helena. Oh, fantastic pitch, fantastic pitch. Right, let's hear from our judges. Ooh, Adina is busy scribbling away there. I wonder what she's writing.
I was writing my grocery list.
I was going to make a joke about a cow, but I'm not going to because, you know. No. Anyway, Adina, tell us, what have you got to say?
Thank you so much, Helena, for that pitch. I mean, there's so much that I agree with in what you were talking about. But just focusing on the idea that you presented, and maybe it was because you had 5 minutes and you put in everything right into that 5 minutes. It felt a little bit like what we call a hat on a hat. I felt like there was like almost like this cognitive overload for the age group that you're targeting, you know, to have so many characters that have so many very serious yet invisible or visible, you know, disabilities or challenges. And then to have them all behaving a certain way in each episode, I felt like simplifying your stories in episodes is probably the way I would approach something like this, because you're tackling a lot in whatever the time is, 7 minutes or 11 minutes. So for me, it just felt that you have a lot that you have to say, and I think it's wonderful, but I would love to see you strip it and really just go a little bit more basic and tackle things individually. I don't know how my colleagues
jump in
feel.
real quick? So just to clarify that the animatic teaser was obviously just a trailer, just to really kickstart the show and just make everyone understand what the show is like. But the actual 7-minute episodes really focus in on one invisible disability, one character at a time. So it's very much a Winnie the Pooh feel, where we all know in Winnie the Pooh there are various different conditions, but it's never spoken about. So it's more like that, whereas I understand that for this 5-minute pitch it seems a little bit chaotic, but it is more streamlined when it's actually in the episodes.
Thank you.
Nice. Okay, let's hear from Eric.
Really lovely, and I love the intention behind the show quite a lot. And much to what Adina was saying, it does feel like there's a lot, and it'd be great to understand. And again, 5 minutes is very hard, but to understand how a story unfolds, how the core relationships of all the characters are supersede any of the disabilities, because the friendships are what kids will be attracted to and want to stay with, since when they know their characters caring for one another. But really, it's really a lovely intention behind this. I think it feels like an overpacked suitcase where you could strip some out and really just focus on sort of the core characteristics of the character before their disability, and let the disability be there, but it's not necessarily the focus of the stories.
Yeah, so that's the intention, is to really focus on the characters, their superpowers, and their relationships together, and the hidden disabilities are just merely in the background.
And when you say Winnie the Pooh, I get it. Like, that's a tone. That's about friendship first, and they're all frugal secondly, right? So it's lovely.
Thank you.
Brilliant. And Rick, you were having a little I'm not sure what you were writing, whether it was your grocery list or.
No. I wrote the word authenticity here. I think very evident that this is a very personal story of yours and your experience, right? So many kudos to you for that. I want to know. I'm curious to know which character here really speaks your voice. How are you represented here? Is it every character, or is it just one character? And maybe kind of along the lines of the story, I would be curious to know what the log lines are going forward, because it felt like there was quite a bit of conditions around each character. And if these powers or these conditions are not talked about, how are they actually super powers? That's just a big gap in my understanding of what this is in totality.
So the superpowers come from the life experiences of that condition. So for example, Susie is me, and then Quack as the duck is my boyfriend. He lives with Tourette's, and it is the funniest thing ever. It is brilliant, and we have an absolute laugh every day together about it. It really has united us. He also has ADHD, so it's a great combination. And it's so entertaining, and it's just about using that. And he really is the funniest person I know, and he really does. He is Quack as a duck in terms of, I would say that his superpower is, from living with Tourette's, you can't take life too seriously. You can't do all that stuff. So his superpower is being that person that G's everyone up, is really positive, is positive in every situation, just makes the whole room laugh. And that to me is a superpower that comes from the condition. So that's just an example, but they all have that. And my brother's got autism on top of his condition, so that's Claire the cow. And then I've got family members that live with asthma, so it's all very much from a real life lived experience.
Brilliant.
Very personal. Thank you.
Thank you, judges, and thank you, Helena.
Thank you.
Brilliant. Well, that was our fourth and final pitch.
Fourth and final pitch, some great pitches.
They were all great ideas.
Yeah, they're amazing. The thing is, I think we could talk to all of them about their ideas all day long, but we haven't got the time today. It's time to send the judges off to make some decisions. You guys have got about 7 minutes, I think, 7 to 10 minutes to make some decisions. Go off, make good decisions, and we'll see you shortly, guys. Thank you very, very much. Their decisions will, of course, lead to somebody winning a prize. I would like to recap what that prize is now. Would you like to hear it? Yeah, okay. The prize is a moderated focus group, as well as that advice on corporate PR and strategy and development advice as well. Now, they come from Kids Industries, Liberi Consulting, and DM Consulting as well. Now, that's not the only thing. We did, of course, at the start of this session, speak about you guys here in the room and those of you who are at home watching as well, because you guys get to pick your favorite as well.
Yes, and you guys are going to get to do that right now. And the audience prize, just to recap, in case you've forgotten, is a free ticket to CMC 2023. So now, if you're writing your grocery list like Adina on your phone, stop. I know, I do it every week. But what you need to do is you need to go to slido.com, enter the passcode CMC 2022, and there you will find 4 options. You need to pick one. It's going to be very difficult because they were all really good. Give our pictures a round of applause. They were absolutely brilliant. But you only need to pick one, people. Just pick one.
Only one, only one. Go online, make your choices, and we'll find out who you've selected very, very soon.
Yes, but Nigel, did you have a question?
Yeah,
While they do this.
We haven't got one on Slido, but I'm going to open it to you here in the room. I know you are voting, but if you have any questions for any of our pictures about any of their programs, things that you'd like to know about them, now is the time. We've got about 5 minutes, so if you have got a question, please raise your hand.
Raise a hand, give us a wave if you want
a microphone to you.
Ask them anything. I've got any thoughts.
Keep voting while you're doing that. Do make your votes. Raise your hand if you've got a question for any of our pictures. Is that a hand raise? No, that's stroking the hair.
Stroke of the hair. Well, no, they don't. But they're very merrily getting on with getting on Slido. Oh, they do. Somebody with a question.
There is someone with a question.
There is. Oh, I thought you actually saw a hand then, Nigel. Just tricking me, are you? Everyone seems to have some kind of device out. If you don't have a device out, your vote counts, people. Do join in. Do jump on your tablet, laptop, if you've got one with you. Oh, we've got a question. We've got a question up here. Got a little... Just waving. Just waving. Also, if you'd like to just wave, you can feel free to do that too.
I've got a question.
Practice your wave. Practice your wave, everyone. Nigel's got a question.
I've got a question. I've got a question. Could I get Alex and Emma up? I've got a question for Alex and Emma.
Alex and Emma.
Now, your idea seems like it's been through the mill already, as in you've had... How long have you been working on the show?
That's a good question.
The theory of it started actually in clinical practice. So I used to take puppets to schools to do school assemblies, and we'd work with parents and children to teach mental health. And we realized that I can only go to like 2 schools a day, best. And then there's like 4 nurses in my team, we can't get very far. And that was like 5 years, 6 years ago. And then we started talking about how we could make it more accessible through media. And we got our first NHS grant at the beginning of 2020. So that was a great year to get an NHS grant for anything. But we were able to continue through the project through 2020. So most of the animation work started in 2020.
Yeah, we did 2 pilots initially with that funding, and it was all during lockdown, and everybody was working all over the country. So I mean, we were based in London, so the production team was mainly in London, but we had our animators. I think they were up in Leeds, York, and Emma was in Essex at that point, and so it was very much a digital kind of thing, and everything was done digitally. Trying to record a voiceover with Joe Brand on an iPhone through Zoom was a very entertaining experience.
Nice.
So it was good fun.
Thank you very, very much. So you've been working on it really hard, and it shows.
Thank you.
So good luck with it, and good luck today as well. I've got one more quick question for Lisa. We've got 1 minute before we bring the judges back. Lisa, it felt like when you were talking, you were already alluding to merchandising and thinking outside the program sort of box. How far are you along with that way?
Well, we've had a previous iteration of this this project that was publicized. I'm also a publicist, so there was kind of a lot of press around this project over time. And from that, we signed up licensing agents in the US, the UK, Germany, Russia, Asia, Scandinavia. And we have a beautifully developed style guide, and we've had incredibly advanced interest, especially in the UK, from publishers, from plush companies, from gifts, all sorts of different areas, but they're all waiting for a show to go with it. But to even get that far, to have licensing agents try to pitch it, go to trade shows, invest in marketing, and work on it for several years, it clearly has a really good, solid position or potential in the licensing department.
Yeah, you can see it. You can definitely see it.
Yeah.
Well thought out. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
All right, now, Nigel, I'm seeing lots of phones go away.
Yes,
So
time is up.
I feel like they're finished. Show of hands, everyone voted? You have? Good. All right, Nigel, I think it's time to bring back those judges.
Bring back the judges.
Bring back the judges. Bring back the judges, everybody.
I'm just going to see what the polls are.
There they are.
Sorry, no.
Right, well, now.
Right.
Nigel.
We're going to come to the judges in a moment.
Yes.
Because I have the votes here in front of me. Live and direct.
Oh, I'm excited.
Right? I'm just going to go straight to the winner. I'm going to go straight to the winner. I'm not going to do any reverse order. If we need to know reverse orders, we can speak later, pictures.
Good luck.
Okay. And the winner of the audience vote is... Yeah, give us a drum roll, go on.
Drum roll, go on, go on.
Embers the Dragon!
Yay! Well done!
31% of the vote.
Oh, well done, Emma and Alex, well done. Does that mean they get 2 free tickets?
They get free tickets for 2023. I'm your +1, guys.
+2. Okay, all right, judges. Now, it's the moment everybody has been waiting for. Can you reveal the winner of Put Your Money Where Your Mouth Is 2022? Yes, Adina is going to speak for you.
I didn't know.
I think Rick has been nominated.
Nothing's private on Zoom anymore, is it? Nothing's private.
The winner is... I come fully propped up here, folks.
Oh!
Yeah?
Lisa!
Forrest.
Lisa Ranievic.
Oh my God.
Well done. How do you feel, Lisa?
I feel surprised. I really thought it was going to be the dragon.
It was a close,
very happy.
close call.
Very happy. Thank you very much.
Very well done, Lisa.
All right.
Very, very well done.
Yes. Well done to all of our pictures as well. Fantastic job.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you to our judges, Adina, Eric, and Rick. You've been fantastic. Great feedback. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
And we cannot finish this session without mentioning the sponsor of the session. Massive thanks to Entertainment One.
Yes, and of course a big thank you to all of you for joining in. Thank you very much for voting and being part of the session today. Now, there is another session in here at 5 o'clock, so we need to get up. And it is Animation Assemble.
As well as that, though, you've got a choice to make because there's another session starting at exactly the same time, 5 o'clock, over at the Adelphi Room, and it is Bright Young Things. Make good decisions, folks. I'm going to go and speak to how you pitch to your mate to get some stuff. I'll see you later on.
See you later.
Thank you very much, Joanna. Bye. Thank you very much.